Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are happy to see all of you here today. We are happy to see your faces. We are happy to see your smiles. We are happy to see where you live, where you exist, where you be. We are excited to continue having this conversation today, for we feel like it is one continuous conversation that keeps evolving and growing and merging. And it is something that we like to see. We like to see the growth and the expansion. And so we would love to know who has the first thing to say today.
I'll ask. Oh, what's this? My computer's doing something weird. Okay. So, my son is an energy drain on the battery of life. And sure, if there's anything you can tell me about, how to support him, but it's really more my question is, how do I have it not affect me? I mean, there's certain logistical things in terms of getting him to school and holding him accountable for stuff. But I'd really like to be in my happy space.
And you have such a good laugh. We would like you to be in that happy space as well. What is coming up when we tune into this for you right now is the power of no. And so it is almost like there is that popular book, and there are those people who say, my year of yes. I just said yes to whatever comes up. And we almost want you to take a year of no. If it is not something that will enhance my energy, the answer is no. And we understand that you must do caretaking as a mother. Yes, you must do things to support and take care of, et cetera, et cetera. But we wonder what the experiment would yield if you took some time and just said no whenever you didn't want to. And that was your mothering style for now. We are not saying obviously being cruel. We are not saying attack. We are not saying be unsupportive. We are just saying when there is a request other than something like for food or a ride to school or the things you mentioned, if it is not going to give you energy, the answer is no. Now, the difficult thing is that when people are not used to hearing no, it feels like an attack. And so then what you have to do is recognize that that attack is not giving you more energy, and say no to that and remove yourself from the situation. So just keep saying no until you get the peace that you want. We don't know how this experiment will play out, but we think that it will give you some essential insights that you then can use going forward to the next phase of what you decide to do. And if it is helpful, you may even model to your son that this is what you're doing. I am tired. I don't have any energy. And I know I can't go on like this. I don't feel well. Yes. And so I am going to say no to anything that I know will take more energy of mine. And if this appears as an inconvenience to you, then we can talk about that. But I'm through being unwell for the sake of this relationship. And one of the things that will be especially valuable in this situation is that your son needs more lessons, more examples, more opportunities to work through the concept of unfair. Because he has not mastered that yet. Yes.
Oh my God, everything is unfair. Everything is unfair.
Yes.
And I just, I want to get into a pissing contest with him.
And we are saying, instead of get into a pissing contest, remove yourself from the contest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just say, no, I am done.
Yeah.
I'm going to my room and I'm closing the door.
Yeah.
You have
I
food,
do.
you have shelter, you have your computer. I am going to spend some time on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And just play with it. We are not saying this is the permanent way to be, but we think that for both of you, it will allow you to access some lessons in the universities you are both enrolled in that will be helpful for you to look at. Yes, a certain class you will take that will be helpful for you to look at the areas of study that you are both here together studying. Yes, the reason you're here together. So play with that.
Yeah.
As with everything, this is all an experiment. There is no right or wrong way to human. It is just all creativity, experiment, play. And we may change the rules whenever we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Great. Thank you. That's I feel a sense of relief just in you giving me that invitation to play with this. So thank you.
My year of saying no. Thank you. That was such a good question. It is very hard to balance trying to take care of others with our desire to make sure they're not in pain. Those are different things. Sometimes those are different things. Sometimes they need to go through the discomfort. And it is not up to us to know when that would be, but it is up to us to know that we need to make sure we are taking care of ourselves. That is up to us. Does anyone else have a question or a comment or a thought to share?
I can jump in if there's space. So lots of good things have been happening recently, which has been really, really good to witness, because it's been, I guess, what I've been wanting. And I'm very grateful for that, actually. Partly can't believe it, really. So kind of trying to get used to the fact that it's part of my reality now, which is nice. I have had some new clients book with me recently, which I feel very honored that they've like trusted me to support them in their journey. But I'm also feeling like a pressure and a panic. So it's excitement, but it's also like, oh my goodness, now I have to do something, which is interesting, because when I've been working before, I've tended to work for companies, so the money aspect hasn't been part of my transaction with them, whereas this time it is. So I'm wondering if that's part of it. But yeah, just I guess, how do I?
So we
work
would
with
like
that?
to bring your attention back to something you said, which is that they trust you.
Yeah, they do.
Having a person whom you can trust with such a vulnerable place in your heart, in your mind, that alone is worth a lot, right? And whether we're charging money for it, or they were, gifting you geese if it was the Middle Ages or whatever, yes. That alone is worth something. And in this day and age, we exchange things for money, yes.
Yeah.
But we would say, go back to the basics. when your brain starts to tell you, oh, I don't know how to do this, or what if I don't do that? Being a safe person after a violent act has happened.
Mhm.
Think about a person who was safe for you
Mhm.
and how that really did save your psyche. Like, you don't know what would have happened if you hadn't had a safe person at some point when you needed it. Yes?
Mhm. Yeah.
How valuable is that? I mean, you almost can't put a price on it. Yes?
Yeah.
That person that just said the right thing, or really heard you, or really saw you, or let you know that
Mhm.
it was okay, or finally was able to help you see that it wasn't your fault, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm. Mhm.
If that's all you do for someone, if you were just that person, that alone is enough. Now, of course,
Mhm.
there is more that you can do. Yes, you can experiment with doing more and moving forward, et cetera, et cetera. But just being that person that makes someone
Mhm.
else feel, I can release part of it right now. I can just be. I can let this other person help me. I can let this other person hold this with me. I don't have to hold it all on my own right now.
Mhm.
That's worth a
Yeah.
ton. So, and one of the, we will use the word reason. We do not like that word exactly, but one of the reasons that we go through difficult experiences is so that we can hold the flashlight for others that are coming
Mhm.
after us. Yes.
Mhm.
We can say, I understand. Let me help you down this path. I've been down this path before. And I can't guarantee that we won't trip and fall on a rock along the way, but I will be here with you.
Mm.
And so we would like to say, don't underestimate that power. It is hard earned. And it is also not something that typically in the current Western model of society is given as much arbitrary financial value as some other
Mhm.
things. But it is almost because the system of money is a surface layer. It is one of addiction. It is one of dopamine rush. It is one of not getting into the depth of things. And so it feels bizarre to use this tool that is used to buy a Tesla to also buy that kind of care.
Mm.
Yes, it feels funny. But here we are. Yes, this is the system we're in. So
Mm.
just trust. Trust that you don't have to do anything. Hannah doesn't have to do anything. You've been given divine gifts, and just let them flow through you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your clients will also be your teachers along the way, yes, because you will try things and some things will work better than others and you will learn and grow. And so it is also an exchange in that way. Yes. You were holding a flashlight and they were saying, you know, what would be much better would be night vision goggles. And so you adapt and you learn to do night vision goggles. Yes. And so it is a symbiotic relationship.
Mhm.
So don't feel you need to have all the answers because they are also your teachers.
And they have the answers for their own healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 So
Yeah.
instead of looking at all the things that you don't have or you're worried you can't do, just trust that those will come in concert with the person you're working with. They will show you and you will show them. But the thing that you do have that they don't is the capacity, the room, the understanding to be that safe place right now for someone who feels unsafe in this way.
Mhm.
And then, as you said, they do their own healing in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. Would anyone else like to add to the conversation today?
I have a question. So, like, what happens when you do something with the best of intentions and the other person receives it like in the worst way, and now you're the bad guy and you feel very guilty and you regret your good intentions? Yeah.
Well, we would say there are two things here. One is, this is nothing more than a learning opportunity for you. Yes, that sometimes the way that you maybe state things or do things, or maybe it's only with certain people that this is the way, but it is an opportunity for you to learn and grow. Yes, about the different aspects of consciousness, the different individuals, the different egos that exist here on this planet. Yes. So that is one thing, is don't be too upset with yourself. This is how learning happens. Yes, learning happens by trying something and it doesn't work. And so we go back and we change things. Yes, and we try again. The other thing we would say is that that person is acting out of their own hurt, their own pain. Yeah, so you said something or did something or et cetera, that felt similar to them, of something that had hurt them before. Yes, because our hurts are based on patterns. Our hurts are based on it being evocative of something that hurt before. Yes. And so recognize that they are also suffering. Yes, just as you are suffering. And the best method, the best way to help alleviate suffering is compassion. Compassion. So have compassion for the fact that they need to see you as the bad guy right now. Have compassion for the fact that you are learning and you did something that you won't do the same way next time. Yes. Have compassion for the fact that you came into each other's lives in this moment in this way so that you could both learn something from this. And you can't control how much reflection they do on this learning opportunity. That is something you don't have control over, is how other people, if you come into an interaction with people, or we come into contact with people, yes, and we have an interaction and we learn something and then we go and we continue on our path, yes. What you don't have control over is what they take from that opportunity. And so in that way, it is a practice of, as it is called, letting go or non-attachment. Yes, because while it is sad that they felt so badly, and it is sad that they turned around and blamed you, you can't do their learning for them. All you can do is you are learning from this situation. Was it someone that you were particularly close to? No.
No.
Because we were going to say, if it was someone you were particularly close to, then you can give it time, let it settle, and then revisit it. But if it was just a chance interaction, then it is a good practice to realize that it wasn't you, it was just your ego and their ego clashing for a minute so that you can both take the next step on your journey, whatever that is. Sounds like it wasn't a very pleasant interaction, and we're sorry for that. But just recognize, this was here for both of our learning. This was here for both of our learning. This was here for both of our evolution. And as I said, you can't know what the lesson is for them or what they will take from it, but you can know what it is for you.
Yeah.
Is that helpful or?
Yes, it is. I don't know how to be less harsh with myself.
Oh, that is a
Something
very good question.
Yeah, I've always
How
struggled
to be
with.
less harsh with myself? We don't mean this in a condescending way. So please take this with, as you say, a grain of salt. But from our point of view, from the point of view of your eternal soul, when you return to our awareness, the experiences you have when you are human are sort of childlike. Yes. Very, in the way that they are very filled with emotion. We don't experience emotion the same way you do, right? Your emotions are much more intense and much more varied and much more reactionary than they are when we are here. And so we would say, and this is one of the reasons why work such as inner child work is helpful, right? Because it is viewing ourselves as childlike. But we would say, what would you say to a small child who made a mistake? Would you want them to beat themselves up? No, of course not. Yes. What would you say to a small child who, so children are very forthright, yes? So if there was a small child that you were taking care of and they went up to someone and they said, "You are ugly." Oh, how embarrassing, yes. But we know that they don't understand that that was an insult necessarily, or maybe they do, but they're just playing with the idea of what does it look like to get a reaction from another human. Yes, they are learning about compassion and learning what it feels like to not have that. And so, but it does not do any good to shame them and make them feel bad. What we must do is help them look at what happened. Yes, help them be introspective and help them see that they are just, as we said, experimenting. Yes, that they are just learning as you are in this situation. And so we would say, when the thoughts come up of, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I should have known better. Oh, now nobody's going to like me. Oh, everyone's going to be angry at me, et cetera, whatever the thoughts are that come up that are harsh. See if you can imagine what you would say to yourself if you were 2 years old. How would you soothe yourself? What would you want someone, a very good caregiver, a very wise, compassionate, caring caregiver, to say to you in that situation? And then repeat those phrases to yourself like a mantra. You are learning. You are doing your best. You are trying. We appreciate your kind heart in this situation, that you had good intentions. We see your kind heart. We are here for you no matter what. We love you no matter what. There's nothing you can do or say that will change how much we love you. But we see your heart, and that is all that matters. Your actions come and go, but we see your heart, and that is the part we love. And so see if you can find phrases such as that use some of the ones we said today or find some of your own. If you tune into your own intuition, you will find the right language for yourself. But it is a practice, because when those thoughts are going, it is harder to tune into our intuition. So that is why we recommend things like mindfulness meditation as a good practice. You practice observing your thoughts and letting them go. The reason we do that is so that when we have very harsh thoughts that come up, we've already practiced saying, ah, there is a harsh thought. I see it. I'm going to direct my attention elsewhere. And in the mindfulness practice, we practice directing our attention to the breath or the mantra, right? We bring our attention back. In this case, I want you to turn your attention to that caregiver. For we do not see you as flawed. We do not see you as doing something wrong. We do not see you as making mistakes or being unlovable or unworthy. We see you as a human growing and learning. We see you as a spiritual being having human experience. We see you having experiences. And just as a small child needs to practice growing and learning how to talk to people, what to say, we do for the rest of our life. That does not end. And it is okay to make a mistake. And so try that. And as we said, it will take practice. Yes, those voices are very, very loud. Yes, the inner critic voices are very, very loud. And it takes practice to say to them, I will not listen to you right now. And it takes practice to lean into that spiritual side of yourself and actually feel the love from source. That also takes practice if you're not used to feeling it. But we promise it is there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a very good question. I know we all struggle with that, every single human. So that is also something good to remember. You are not alone. We all attack ourselves. It's a funny thing, isn't it, when you think about it?
Hi, Saul. It's been several weeks and I've missed I've missed you. I've missed these meetings. And it's interesting as people were talking, it's just like, I feel like it's this patchwork quilt or like this big platter of all these appetizers, because I could relate to what Kathy was saying, and to a certain extent what Georgina was saying. And the thing that since we've started having these sessions, I was kind of noticing when I got back, I've been through this pretty large transition, and I've noticed that I'm still having all the human reactions, like there were parts that were very difficult. And yet there's this overlying layer of, I don't know how to describe it, perspective, equanimity, I don't know. Like I'm still having the experiences, but there's this layer, I think, from having all these sessions of putting it in perspective and not letting any one experience or any protracted experience be the be all end all of my entire life. I don't know how to describe it.
Yes.
But just this real sense of perspective, holding grief and peace at the same time in a weird way, and excitement and sadness at the same time, and not allowing any one emotion to totally overtake the other one. So it's just, I know I was not in that space before. So I wanted to thank you and thank everyone. It's through listening to other people and hearing the shared humanity, and also just realizing that some of the things that or periods I've gone through weren't just me. It was like a collective thing happening. And when I hear, oh, this season, I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And then we're coming into Sagittarius and there's hopefulness. I'm like, yes, I'm heading that way. So it's just filled a lot of, not needs, but just, yeah, the shared humanity piece has really been illuminated. I've been sort of myopic in how I was going to go with Kindageous. And then I heard this new opportunity of maybe adding like this coaching piece. And I got really excited. I was like, yes, I don't know why that isn't something that I did before. And it kind of went back to the session where we're saying like my energy is one to many. And I just thought, it's another beautiful way to do that. Then I tripped myself up a little bit because there's money involved in doing it, which I don't mind, but also, oh, you can make money. And I don't know why there's a little bit of a tripping up for me. Like, well, I just want to do things and it's not for the money, but money isn't bad. So that's just the latest thing. So anyway, I just wanted to give an update and thank you. And I don't know, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, we appreciate your perspective, and we appreciate you describing your experience of what we would say is, being your human self while also being in touch with your spiritual self at the same time. Yes, and that strange paradox of how am I simultaneously grieving and feeling peace at the same time. Yes, those seem to our human experience like they are things that should not be able to exist at the same time. And we doubly appreciate what you were saying, because that is exactly what we were attempting to explain in somewhat to Georgina. Yes, that you can be having this unpleasant experience, in her case of someone misunderstanding her, in your case of your grief, and at the same time feel that peace of your eternal soul, feel that equanimity of your eternal soul. And it is not about shutting down one and only being in the other, for you are human, you have a body, you are having an experience, and there is no way around that, yes, until you die. But for the time being, you must lean into that being two different things at the same time, being in two different states at the same time. Yes. And the next step, we would say, which you're already doing, is understanding how your superpower of now being able to observe that can shift the whole situation. You can decide, I want to lean into this way, or I want to lean into this way. And in that way, you stop being controlled by or at the whim of your reactions to the circumstances, and you get to start to some degree, inform the circumstances and change them. And so we think that this is very valuable information that you have shared, and we appreciate your perspective, and we appreciate your appreciation as well. So thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have a question or a comment or a thought? We have a few more minutes.
I could share a thought, and that is that recently it seems like quite a few things are happening that are a completion. It feels like things are coming to full circle. And it's maybe, for instance, is like a lifelong desire, or one that I've had for 30, 50 years, whatever, has now come back around and is being manifest. And it's such an amazing thing. And I don't know quite what to do with it, but I'm sort of amazed by it.
Yes. Yes, that is good. And you are illustrating two very important powers, two very important ideas. One is patience. Yes, we are not in charge of the timeline. You're not in charge of the timeline.
No.
And the second one is not overthinking or worrying or trying to push or resist where you are on the path, where you are in the timeline. Yes. And with those two things together alone, you have unlocked one of the secrets to happiness. Yes. And so we think that you are very wise. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And we're very happy that these things are coming into your life.
Yeah.
How exciting.
I got to go to Tibet today in a course, an online course. It was
Yeah.
a lifelong dream.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. We love it. We love it. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This was very touching for us. It is always touching for us, but we appreciate. Well, we will echo back to say we appreciate you feeling that we are a safe space. Yes, that we are trustworthy, that we are non-judgmental, that we are somewhere you can go with things that maybe you would be worried about sharing with other people. And so we appreciate that, and we do not take it lightly. And we are so excited to continue to watch you grow and bend and learn new ways of being. So thank you for being open to that and being willing. It is much appreciated. Much appreciated.